What is up, Retro Maniacs? My name is Mike, his name's Joe, and his name's EP. We're here to talk about cards. This week, we're going to give you 5 ways that sports card collectors waste their money. You're probably going to fight us on some of these, but that's okay. We're going to give them to you anyway. Let's start with number 1. Using services like Card Ladder and Market Movers. If you are at a certain level of selling cards, dealing in upper end cards, these apps and definitely have a place in the hobby. But there are a lot of regular people out there that use these to look up comps. They're looking up eBay comps. You can go to eBay and find this information for free. So, number 1 on our list, using an app like Card Ladder or Market Movers. Joe?
There was like a hot minute where I thought about signing up for one of these. And I was like, wait a minute. What am I doing? I love saving money more than that. Like I'm the cheapest person on this show, I'm guessing. Like I love to spend money on certain things, but I like saving money more than anything. And save money, use Terapeak or whatever it's called now, Seller Assist or whatever it's actually
research.
called. Whatever.
Research.
Yeah. Get it on the app. Whatever. If you Google Terapeak, you can still pull it up. I still do. I put in the search bar Terapeak, and it still pops up. But I use it, and you're getting information for the last 3 years. You can get information for the last 30 days. The card market is very volatile. We all know, and you can just pull that up on your phone. I don't know why anyone would pay for a service they can get something just as good for free.
Yeah, I mean, I am how I collect is buying the cheap cards and selling cheap cards, and so I'm always looking for places where I can save money. And so, in 2 regards, this is not for me. In 1 regard, I don't deal in cards that are like the cards that they track are like PSA 10 Michael Jordan cards. That's sort of like these thousands of dollars of cards. And for me, I want to check I have no problem checking the prices myself. I wouldn't pay for somebody else to check the prices for me. Like that's something that I just do naturally, and I actually enjoy that part of it. And trying to figure out the price myself, that for me is part of the enjoyment. So I wouldn't pay for this product myself. I feel like there are some people, like Mike said, who are on the upper end who they don't have time to worry about looking up their own prices because they're too busy wheeling and dealing their $10,000 cards. And I guess that's what this is for. But I think for the majority of the hobby, for most of the people probably watching us too, this is an expense that you don't need to put any money into.
Yeah, I've had a Card Ladder account and I've activated it here and there a couple times too. I mean, it's fun to look at the data, but I don't want to pay what I have to pay to have it consistently. Like you said, EP, the stuff that we sell, it's really not that good of a resource anyway. If you're into ultra modern stuff and higher end ultra modern, I can definitely see a need for this, but you really have to ask yourself, do I need to know this? Like, where are they drawing the data from? A lot of it's coming from eBay anyway. There are a lot of other sites out there, but still, eBay is the king. You're not getting more money on a lot of those sites than you're getting on eBay. And you can also look up what stuff sold for on those other sites anyway. So, yeah, it might save some people a little bit of work, but I say it's a little bit of a waste of money.
Right. Is that money worth it? Is 0 to whatever that cost worth that saving a little bit of work? I don't think it is.
All right. Number 2 should be interesting because I want to see his reaction to this one. But buying expensive supplies, again, these things are not all or nothing. There are situations, maybe you really want to have a fancy looking display behind you with a pit sign and you spend a little bit more money on your cases. You don't really want to, but if you're somebody who's moving a lot of cards, or like I sell a lot of low end cards, let me tell you, Pro Safe top loaders are the best thing I've ever bought in my life. They're less than half the price of Ultra Pro. There's a lot, and they're fantastic. You would not get me to buy Ultra Pro top loaders because I've used cheaper stuff that are just as nice. There's a lot of stuff out there. If you give it a shot, fine. Not all of it's good. Some of it's not as good, but if you look around for it, you can save a lot of money buying some of the lower end supplies because they work really well. Joe, your thoughts?
No, I'm kidding.
I want promos and these cases I have behind me.
No, I'll tell you what. In my situation for displaying my cards, I want it could be the cheapest supply out there. but if it looks good, I don't care. Like if pro molds aren't that much more, if at all, more expensive than One Touches from Ultra Pro or from BCW or anything like that. So for me, in that situation, yes, I will pay a little bit more money if I have to for pro molds. But in the situation of selling cards, like I use, the cheap top loaders. I don't have to have the best of the best. There are situations where I want it for myself, for my PC. But I totally get it. If you're selling a lot of cards like you and EPR, especially plain white envelope, things like that, and you need top loaders, and we're using top loaders as a specific, example, but there are a lot of other examples of, shipping supplies or I lost my train of thought. There's a lot of examples though of things that can be cheaper and they look just as good, like Mike was saying. So yeah, for me, my PC stuff, I like to display them a little bit more expensive things. I like my slab mags. Use my code, the sports card data, save 10% on the next order. But that being said, for other folks, for doing a lot of selling like you guys do, I can totally get behind buying cheaper supplies.
To defend Joe a little bit, like I feel like there are certain products that do certain things that you're gonna pay for those. I feel like, Mike, even for you, like you want to make sure you have top loaders that are the right size. Like if you have a thicker cards, you're gonna probably maybe have to go through Ultra Pro depending on what other companies might have available to them, or BCW depending on what they have available to them. So for like slab mags, I mean, they offer UV protection. Again, Joe, you talked about them being tested. They don't do 100% in some cases, but they are.
Slab mags do 100%.
So okay, right. So yeah. So I mean, you're looking at like so in certain cases that is okay. It is when you are just buying like something like an Ultra Pro or just some Ultra Pro brand or a certain brand because that is the brand, as opposed to trying out the different products. Like Mike said, like I tried out those Elite card savers, which are just as good as the card savers, the same size, the same clarity, same quality. They're just sometimes you can probably find them at a different price. So you definitely you need to make sure you're not just throwing everything aside just because it doesn't say Ultra Pro on it.
All right. The third way that people waste money in card collecting, this one's going to be a two-prong. We'll go around twice about the same thing. The general topic is paying too much for shipping. First of all, we're going to start with the eBay standard envelope. If you're selling low-end cards on eBay and you don't use this, it's ridiculous. It's a waste of money to have to pay $5, sometimes more, to get a $3 card sent to you. And I know I hear all the complaints, all the reasons. Learn what the insurance is on it, because it has really good insurance that will cover you. I recently bought a whole bunch of like under $20 cards, and I just skipped right on by people that didn't use eBay standard envelope. I can't spend $5 for shipping on a low dollar card. It's a waste of money. Don't do it.
Or you say, I'm going to charge $5 for shipping and still use an eBay standard envelope. That happens quite a bit too. But
that's a different video.
That's a whole different video. Jerks in the hobby. Top
dirt
5
bags,
jerks. Dirt bags. Watch Mike's video about how to use eBay standard envelope if you have not yet and you're not sure about how to use eBay standard envelope, because it is very informative. The insurance thing is key for me. I think the insurance is like how I've used it like I've only had to use it 3 times, but I've sold back when I first got back into it. I was selling a lot of cards that way. I was selling a lot of cards for eBay through eBay standard envelope, and a couple of them got lost. It is what it is. And one of them that was on me for putting a thick card in an envelope. That was 100% on me. The card got through the machine and it got snapped, and eBay covered it. I mean, completely covered it. So not using eBay standard envelope is not only like, I think if you are someone who is not opening yourself up to using that, you're losing a lot of customers. And it's a really great way to, I just got a couple cards eBay standard recently. If you're a set builder, for example, and you're doing drop downs and you're looking to buy a couple of cards, people can send them eBay standard envelope for $1. and you're set. And 99.9% of the time, for me at least, they get there or they come to me in perfect shape. So definitely open your mind to eBay standard envelope. You're wasting money if you don't, and maybe losing customers.
Yeah, I mean, you're paying 69 cents typically. I think that's what the price
Nice.
is to ship a card through eBay standard envelope. You get $20 up to $20 of insurance. It also has a tracking. It's obviously it's not perfect tracking. It's not the kind of tracking you get for the higher end stuff, but you get some form of tracking. Typically, you know if a card arrives or not. So this is all included for just 69 cents, which is just a little bit more than a stamp, right? Like, I mean, it's just incredible to think about. This is one of the, like, eBay doesn't do a lot for low end sellers, but this is one of the huge ones. Like, they're just introducing the fee per transaction, which I think is still 10 cents, maybe 15 cents. Like, that hurts people like me. And again, I'm an anomalous case. I have, I think my eBay store has like 7,000 cards in it, something like that. I would say 90% of those are $1.99 cards, $1.65 cards, $2.99 cards, and I offer free shipping on anything below $20 just because I can do offers free shipping. I get people that get excited about that they can buy a bunch of stuff and I can ship it all together. And a lot of times I can ship it using eBay standard envelope just because of the price. And again, I love having the tracking and the insurance as a part of it.
Part 2 of the shipping is you're wasting money if you're paying the post office retail shipping rates. Don't do it. Just stop, man. Just stop.
Yeah.
Pirate Ship. Have you ever heard of Pirate Ship? Look it up. Pirateship.com. You can ship your items there. You can, even if you're going to drop it off at the post office, print your label out, buy it there. You can save a lot of money. If somebody paid you via PayPal, you can also ship right through PayPal and get the discounted rates too. It's kind of like the eBay rate, how you get a lower rate than you would if you took it to the post office. Don't waste money paying post office retail. Just stop doing it right now.
Yeah. Yeah. The amount of money that we've collectively have saved by not paying post office rates, we could buy a case of something, right? Well, probably not Star Wars Galactic Antiquities or anything like that.
Topps Mercury,
but
right?
Yeah, Topps Mercury, right? But yeah, I've introduced people to Pirate Ship. They're like, oh, I need to go to the post office. I go, no, you don't. Go to Pirate Ship. It's going to be so much cheaper for you. They have their own insurance program as well, which I've never had to use it, but I kind of trust it more than the post office. Because the post office, there's a lot of, from what I've heard, horror stories about, the rigmarole you have to go through to get your insurance claim, even in front of someone at the post office. Yeah, they are giving you the cheapest rates, and you don't even have to use USPS. They give you cheapest rates on UPS. They give you the cheapest rates on FedEx. Same thing with eBay. Never go outside of eBay, PayPal, or Pirate Ship to send stuff because you're just going to waste money.
Yeah, and again, one of the great things about these services also is like they will show you what the prices are and maybe like tell you, hey, it'll be cheaper for you to do this priority mail or cheaper for you to send this to UPS or FedEx or whatever. And I love that about these services. On top of also being typically like the eBay stuff and the PayPal stuff is integrated right into those websites. But then when you're talking about the like going into the mail, when I walk into the post office with my stuff and I see people walking up to the window, I'm like, sorry, man, it's too bad for you, because I'm just walking up to the thing and dropping them in the box because I've already taken care of it. And it's just on top of getting a better price. I think the Pirate Ship price is they give you this like the same discount that eBay gives. Like they give a discount compared to the the post office prices. So I'm like, I can take care of that stuff at home. Just walk in, drop the stuff off. I don't have to wait in line. And to me, that's worth. That'd be almost worth paying extra for to not have to stand in line. But you're getting it at a cheaper price.
One quick caveat about Pirate Ship: if you use their insurance, because I was worried I was going to have to do a claim. There was something that was marked as delivered. It wasn't. It ended up getting delivered to the wrong place. It was actually at the post office still. It worked out fine. But if you use Pirate Ship's insurance, make sure you hand it to someone at the post office and they scan it. Don't use the kiosk. It tells you right in there. It is only valid if it is handed to someone and you get a receipt from that person. It cannot be a kiosk. Now, if you use the post office insurance, which is up to $100 on a lot of their stuff, that's fine. But Pirate Ship specifically wants you to have handed it to a person and then have that receipt from them. So just a little fun fact.
Okay, moving on. Number 4. This one's a little bit more niche, but we all do it. I've done it. I don't know about these guys, but I have. Buying Tops Now cards in bulk, trying to get that special card out of it. Tops has recently turned this into a new thing by making it a lottery, having the big prize that you can get. But I admit I bought, I think, 40 Caitlin Clark, which to me is a lot. There are people that buy way more than me, but Caitlin Clark cards, and I got a short print out of it, but it had a gigantic indent in it anyway, and I had to sell it at way below what they sold for. But yes, you're playing the lottery. If you play your state lottery, you know you don't win. If you count up the amount of money you've paid to play it, you know you haven't won that much. Buying Tops Now cards, trying to chase that big prize, same thing.
But there could be a boat in that box, man.
There could be a boat in that box. There could be.
Yeah, we've talked about Tops Now ad nauseum on the podcast, but this is just a reminder. It is a waste of money. It's absolutely a waste of money. All the cards that you get there, unless you get a short print that's not dinged up, all the cards you get are going to end up in dollar boxes at best. At best. You'll be using them as filler cards for shipping actual good cards. You'll be using they will not have any sort of value down the road. Don't do it. It's an absolute waste of money. I think it's smarter to go and buy $40 lottery tickets. I mean, because how much did you spend for each one of those Caitlin Clarks, Mike?
I think it was like $8 somewhere around
$8.
there, $7-8.
So you're talking
close to $300.
I was gonna say, Mike, that's like $320. Give me $320 scratchers. Jesus, I think that might make a little bit more sense. At what point,
if I could do it over again, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when you're doing your taxes and gambling income, you have to claim, but you can also get your losses. At what point do they allow you to use Tops Now losses as part of your gambling losses?
If you have a good accountant, you could probably do it.
Yeah, smart accountant will do that for you. But yeah, it's an absolute waste of money. You're just chasing the lottery. You're chasing the boat in the box.
$320. It's almost a box of Topps Chrome Football from this year, isn't it? It was almost there. I mean, this. We weren't here at the when Topps Now launched, and I've said before, I love the thought of Topps Now, the concept of Topps Now, that you are taking these moments and you're giving people this thing immediately. A rookie of the year, 600-yard passing game and for a football, a quarterback or something like that. Just these amazing moments. Capturing it again. I love to see these things appear in actual sets as well, but they're doing this now. But the issue is, like we talked about, I think it was 2 weeks ago at this point, the first Marvel card from the Captain America movie, and $16 a card with no autographs, no actual chase. The only chase is a 1-of-1. So, and that's, I mean, they're not going to that price is going to continue to escalate. Right? Is $16 going to be the new $8? Like you paid $8 for those Caitlin Clarks. Is $16 going to be the new base level price for these cards? That again, what are you chasing? Like, and you think about like you both said, like when you think about the lottery, like you have no chance of winning the lottery. If you want to get in with in a office pool or whatever, that's a fun thing to do, a fun thing to talk about, that sort of stuff. But by actually buying the lottery ticket yourself, like you're not going to win, and that's kind of what it is when you're playing the Topps Now lottery.
All right. Our fifth and final way sports card collectors waste money, and this one's going to make some people mad. We're not saying you shouldn't do it. We're just saying if you actually add up the economic factors in what you're doing, you're wasting money. And that is if you collect rainbows. I've done this too. And there are many ways you're wasting money. First of all, you're getting all these different parallels, which just end up being more and more and more every year. 5 years down the road, maybe that gold one you have, somebody's going to be interested in because golds are kind of popular. There are going to be a lot of those cards that people just don't care about that parallel. The one that's 5 more than that, or the one that's 2 more than that, and 2, 1, so on, so on, so on. Plus, as people that are collecting rainbows, we typically maybe sometimes overpay for cards that we need. So while we're not saying that you shouldn't do this, we are saying you do need to recognize, though, that you're wasting money when you do it. So don't flame us too hard in the comments because it's a very popular thing. But when you stop and think about it, you're wasting money. You know you are.
I have partial rainbow of these 4 cards, and there's one right here. It's like I've done it and I get it. But here's the thing. If I completed this full rainbow, it'd be like 7 cards, right? I think there's a 101. I think it would be 6 cards. 2, 4, 5. No, 7. So there's a 101 and then there's like a pink out of 3 or something like that. I've never seen. That's not too bad. But nowadays with the absolute just avalanche of parallels, especially with Panini. Again, I don't open up enough Tops to know what their biggest parallel setup.
Tops is bad.
Tops is bad too.
They might be worse than Panini right now.
Sorry, I keep saying I need to. Fanatics. We love Tops. We don't like Fanatics. So the Fanatics rainbows might be, yes, they're different, Mike. So yeah, Panini is just throwing. They're different because I don't like Fanatics. And I've always loved Tops. Anyway,
that's for Joe. Every time he says that, we now know it's just for Joe, right? It's just
it's just a Joe thing. I'm not going to put the blame of the downfall of the card industry on Tops. I'm going to put it on Fanatics. But anyway, there's a lot of parallels. People are playing shell games with them. We've talked about that before. And every year, there's going to be 3 or 4 more at least that you need to add to this rainbow. So if you decide to start a Wemby rainbow, I can't imagine from Prism. I can't imagine like 90 cards. Even if it's I think the worst rainbow collecting is someone who pulls the 101 and is like, I need to collect the rainbow now. No, you don't. Sell the 101 unless it's a player you really like. Sell the 101. Let someone else build that rainbow. But yeah, I see that a lot. And it is a waste of money. Just find a handful of cards from that rainbow you like. It's the completest that a lot of hobby folks are. And I think that's the companies play into it. They know it.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's why they have this many parallels.
Yeah, I think kind of similar to talking about buying expensive supplies. Like this is there's kind of like a gray area, kind of a variance in there. Because there are some people, like my example to you guys was, if I am an ultra Mark Hamill collector and I only collect Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker, like then I'm not going to yuck your yum if you want to try to complete the rainbow. What we're talking about are collectors who are, oh my gosh, I got to get the complete rainbow of Caleb Williams, who was just a rookie this year, hasn't built this huge following from a lot of people. And then then we know people like this on Twitter who then a week later they're like, well, I'm not collecting that rainbow anymore. I'm going to collect this different rainbow. And so they're jumping from rainbow to rainbow. And that's not what a rainbow, like if you're collecting a rainbow, like the amount of money that you have to spend on it is typically ridiculous. So make sure you are, if you're going to do it, and I don't want to get yuck yums, like make sure you are really, really interested in that person. Don't just be collecting rainbows just to willy-nilly, because that seems like a really bad idea, horrible idea.
Collect the rainbow you want, but you're still wasting money. That's the moral of the story this week.
Yeah.
We know it. All right. If you have any other ideas of ways that people waste money in the hobby, let us know in the comments. Again, we read them. I don't know if you're watching this far into the video, but we do read your comments.
Or if you waste money on this kind of stuff, let us know in the comments too. But if we're completely wrong,
we've all done it. If you're saying you didn't waste money, you're lying, because we've all done it. The stuff we talked about today, we've done it.
And 2/3 of this rainbow will read your comments.
Yeah. All right, guys, that was a lot of fun. We will be back next week. Take care, guys.
See you, boys.
See ya.